Hey, the best thing about this video that's for my Canadian followers is that I'm not gonna have a bunch of hateful stuff in the comments because y'all are friendly and nice. So anyway, this video is for my Canadian followers and it's all about what keto products you can get in Canada. Now, full disclaimer, the reason that I'm doing this video is because countless times I get requests from my Canadian followers where they can get specific things that I talk about. I talk about Thrive Market all the time on my channel, but they don't ship to Canada. So every day I see tons of comments and requests that come into my inbox about this. So if you're not living in Canada, you might not get a whole lot of value out of this video, so you're not gonna hurt my feelings if you turn it off and you don't watch it. But you might still learn something about the foods that I talk about. If you are in Canada, we're gonna go through some of the key products that you can get, and there's an interesting company called NATURA. Okay, NATURA is like Canada's Thrive Market. Okay, so NATURA is going to give you a lot of these things. So anyway, I'll go through the list of things that I would recommend in different categories, like oils, condiments, snacks, things like that, and also where you can get them. So let's go ahead and let's jump in, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that bell icon as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with oils. Okay, these are all oils that you can get on NATURA. Okay, so again, like Canada's Thrive Market. First one is gonna be Nutiva's coconut oil. Okay, it's organic virgin coconut oil. There are a lot of imposters out there when it comes down to coconut oil. You want to make sure that you're getting virgin or extra virgin coconut oil. Do not get refined coconut oil. And as far as what's available in the Canadian market that I could find, Nutiva is going to be the best one there. Okay, so it's going to have the high degree of lauric acid. It's not going to be refined, so you're still getting the good kinds of saturated fat that haven't been adulterated. Okay. Next up is going to be Keto Ghee. Okay. Now, I know ghee is fairly readily available in Canada, but when it comes down to the types of brands that are available, Keto is going to be the one that I'm going to recommend, simply because they're the cleanest. And when it comes down to making bulletproof coffee or anything like that, the benefit that we're getting from ghee is the fact that it is high in butyric acid, which helps support the gut, but also has been demonstrated to create ketones quite a bit faster. In my opinion, probably even faster than MCT oil. And then we have Chosen Foods avocado oil. Okay, avocado oil is obviously fairly abundant, but Chosen Foods is one that we have here in the States, but you can also get it in Canada. Now, I talk about it on a lot of my Thrive Market videos, so this would be a good one that you can get through NATURA as well. And by the way, I did put a link down below to NATURA, so if you're in Canada and you want to check them out, again, they're a lot like Thrive Market. They're just delivering these kinds of things to your doorstep. Okay, the next one is going to be extra virgin olive oil, but there's not as much of a selection in Canada as there is down in the States. Okay, so Casandrinos is going to be the one that I would recommend. Again, you can get that in NATURA. You might be able to find it at your grocery store. Okay, they're probably one of the cleanest, and they're very, very open with their sourcing and where they get their olives. That's a very important thing to note with olive oil, because you want it to be harvested as quickly as possible and pressed into an oil, cold pressed, and then put into a bottle as quickly as possible, so you're not having a high degree of oxidation. Okay, then when it comes down to the MCT oil, Nutiva is a good brand for the MCT oil. Again, we have Nutiva down here in the States, but it's also available up in Canada. So if you're looking for MCT oil, that's probably gonna be the one that you're gonna wanna lean towards. Okay, now let's go over to condiments. Okay, Primal Kitchen definitely is available in Canada now. Now, Primal Kitchen was recently purchased, so now they're available a lot more places. A few years ago, it was hard to get them in Canada. So now if you take a look, you probably will see Primal Foods, Primal Kitchen products. So Primal Kitchen avocado mayonnaise. If you're going to have mayonnaise, get avocado oil mayonnaise. The problem with mayonnaise is it's usually made with soybean oil, which is highly refined, very high in polyunsaturated fats, which are very unstable. So you're looking at basically a fat that's going to denature in your body and cause more damage than it is helpful. Okay, then when it comes down to other condiments, Primal Kitchen also makes an unsweetened ketchup. Okay, so this way you're not having any of the sugar with it, you're not having sucralose with it, it's just unsweetened ketchup. And if you want to make it a little sweeter, you can add some stevia or something to it, but frankly, you don't generally need that. And then people ask about mustard all the time. I'm usually a fan of going with Dijon, so Mason Orphy Dijon mustard is probably the one that I would go to. And again, everything I'm listing here you can get through NATURA. That's the whole idea here, is to help turn Canadians on to a way that they can get the things I talk about just through a slightly different avenue. Okay, then when it comes down to the nuts and seeds, okay, Royal Hawaiian, that's a big brand here in the States as well, but also growing in Canada too. Again, as the keto market is getting bigger in Canada, a lot of these macadamia nut brands, a lot of these nut butters and things like that are starting to push their way north too. So Royal Hawaiian is probably the cleanest one that you're gonna find. Okay, so they have a roasted version, they have the raw version. Usually go for the roasted. Macadamia nuts can usually handle a good degree of temperature, so roasted is fine, you don't have to go for raw. But speaking of raw, the next brand that I would recommend for seeds is going to be Go Raw Sprouted Pumpkin Seeds. Now, if you watch my videos, I'm always talking about zinc. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best sources of zinc. So I usually recommend that, but you want to go with a sprouted form because they're naturally pretty high in phytic acid. Okay, so if you get regular pumpkin seeds or even regular sunflower seeds for that matter, you're not going to absorb a lot of the nutrients and minerals in them unless they're sprouted. Okay, so you want to go for this one. So Go Raw has some really good selection there. Again, all stuff you can get in Canada. Then when it comes to chia, Bob's Red Mill, very big, well-known brand in the States, also well-known in Canada. They're going to be the cleanest chia that you're going to find in my opinion. And then also Nutiva has a flax and chia blend. Okay, so that way you're getting the full abundant profile you need of the omega-3s and omega-6s. There's pretty nice balance there. But you are getting it in alpha-linoleic acid, which isn't the best form, but it's going to get counteracted by the fact that it's extremely high in soluble fiber, which you need. So now let's move on to the specific kind of nut butters and things like that. Only two I'm going to recommend here. Okay, one of my favorite brands is Artisana. You've heard me talk about coconut butter before. Coconut butter is not talked about all that much, and it really should be. So coconut butter is like almond butter, it's like pecan butter, whatever, any kind of butter, except it's made from coconuts. It's not coconut milk, it's not coconut cream, it's literally like peanut butter, but made from coconuts, and it is a game changer, and you're going to struggle to not eat the entire jar, okay? Then additionally, Artisana has a raw almond butter that I'm a big fan of, okay? Again, I don't consume a lot of almond butter, but if you're going to do it, I recommend going with a brand like Artisana. So again, available at NATURA, you can get through the link down below. Let's talk some snacks, because this is the big one. So I'd say the vast majority of the Canadian followers that reach out to me are looking for similar versions of the snacks that I often talk about. Okay, that's the problem, is it always takes a little bit of time for products that are created in the US to make it into Canada. Okay, so again, NATURA does kind of make it possible. One that I'm going to recommend is the Gimme seaweed snacks. Okay, you can even go for the teriyaki ones because they use tamari instead of soy, because you know I'm all about keeping the gluten out. Okay, so these are organic and they're using oils that aren't soybean oils. They're using a couple different kinds of oils, but much better in the broad spectrum of oils that you're going to see in a lot of different seaweed snacks. Then we have flackers, which is literally just pressed flax seeds into a cracker, so perfect on keto, perfect for a little soluble fiber snack. Then the cool thing is 3 of the products that I actually talk about on my channel quite consistently that aren't always available directly, you can get through NATURA. Okay, so we've got F-Bomb, which is a macadamia nut butter in little convenient packets. Perfect Keto, so Perfect Keto's got their bars and snacks like that all available, so that way you can get them in Canada. And then Love Good Fats, which I talk about on my channel all the time, is actually a Canadian-based company. So they're available in NATURA, or they're also available direct. And these are all kind of things that I would recommend in the way of snacks. Then lastly, I want to talk coffee and sweeteners for a second. So I talk about Four Sigmatic. Four Sigmatic is also available in Canada through NATURA, so I recommend in the world of like the Lion's Mane's coffees and the different mushroom coffees, going with Four Sigmatic. And then with the sweeteners, you're going to want to opt for Lakanto liquid monk fruit. Now, I'm not opposed to their other powdered monk fruits. It's just important that I note and be very honest with this, that a lot of times people don't look at the label and see that there's erythritol and monk fruit. That's not necessarily bad, but it's not as pure, right? I use the liquid form from Lakanto when I'm fasting just because there's nothing else in it other than water and monk fruit. It's super clean stuff, so you can get that one through NATURA as well. And then also, if you're interested in the same kind of thing but going the stevia route, there's sweet leaf stevia drops, which are the same kind of thing except stevia. Now, stevia has the bitterness that monk fruit doesn't have, but it's a little bit more cost effective. So I want to ask you one thing as my Canadian followers. If there are certain things that you want to see me produce, or certain products you want to see me talk about specifically for Canada, I have a large audience base in Canada. About 25 to 30% is Canadian, so I'm happy to create that kind of content. So feel free to go ahead and put it down below in the comment section. And if you aren't Canadian, hopefully you still got something out of this video. I will see you tomorrow, and don't forget to check out NATURA down below in the description.